Hey there. So today, we are going to tackle one of the trickiest parts of the IELTS exam, something that trips a lot of people up, the Task 1 pie chart essay.
Yeah, that one. Does the very idea of trying to describe two pie charts in less than 20 minutes kind of make your head spin? Well, you are definitely not alone. This task is a huge source of stress for so many people.
But here's the good news. You don't have to worry, because over the next few minutes, we are going to transform all that anxiety into a super clear, high-scoring strategy. So, what's our game plan? Simple. First, we'll break down what the IELTS pie chart is all about. Then, I'm going to give you a 5-step master plan. We'll use that plan to spot the main features, build our essay piece by piece, and then, at the end, we'll look at the perfect finished product. It's a really logical flow that's designed to get you ready for exam day.
Okay, first up, cracking the pie chart. I want you to think about this differently. It's not a test, not really. It's more like a puzzle. And right now, we're going to find all of the pieces to solve it. And that brings us to the real core of our strategy, our second section, the 5-step master plan. Seriously, think of this as your blueprint for success. It's a simple process you can use every single time, and it takes all the guesswork out of the writing. And here it is, the whole thing, broken down into 5 easy steps. Now, the most important thing to get here is that the first 2 steps, analyzing the question and identifying the features, that's all planning. If you absolutely nail this planning stage, I promise you, the writing part becomes so much easier. And this is how those 5 steps translate into a perfect, simple 4-paragraph essay. You've got your introduction, your overview that sums up the key points, and then 2 paragraphs to dig into the main features. It's clean, it's organized, and it's exactly what the examiner wants to see. Okay, enough theory. It's time to put this plan into practice. So, in our third section, we're going to analyze and identify the key features of a real exam question using those first 2 steps of our master plan. So, here's the question we'll be working with. We've got 2 pie charts, right? One shows the reasons people cycle to work, and the other shows why they drive. Just take a second to look them over and get a feel for what they're showing us.
All right, let's start with step 1. Analyze the question. The cool thing is the instructions for task 1 are pretty much always the same. They want you to do 3 things: select, report, and compare the main features. And I can't stress that keyword enough, main. You don't have to write about every little detail. In fact, you absolutely shouldn't. The examiners are looking to see if you can spot the most important stuff.
So that leads us to step 2. How do we actually find those main features? Well, it's usually the most obvious stuff staring you right in the face. Just ask yourself 2 simple questions. What are the biggest slices of the pie? And what are the most obvious differences or maybe even similarities between the charts? That's your starting point right there. And as we look at our charts, a couple of things just jump right out of this. For people who cycle, you see the 2 biggest reasons are a dead tie: health and fitness and less pollution, both sitting at 30%. But for drivers, totally different story. One reason completely dominates: comfort, with a huge 40% slice. Boom. Those are the key ideas our entire essay is going to be built on. Okay, so we've got our plan and we've spotted our key features. Now it's time to actually write this thing. Let's dive into section 4, where we're going to build our perfect essay 1 paragraph at a time. First up, paragraph 1, the introduction. And honestly, this is the easiest part. All you have to do is rephrase the question in your own words. So the original question becomes something like, the 2 pie charts display the key reasons why people choose to either cycle or drive to work by percentage. See? We just used a few different words, tweaked the structure a bit, and that's literally all it takes. Next up is the overview. Now listen, this is probably the single most important paragraph for your final score. It's just a summary of those main features we found a minute ago. But here's the golden rule. You state the biggest trends for each chart. But, and this is key, you don't give any specific numbers or percentages just yet. So you'd say something like, health and environment are the big reasons for cyclists, while comfort is the main deal for drivers. Nailing this paragraph is a massive step toward getting a great score. Okay, now we get into the details. Your first detail paragraph is where you expand on one of those main features. So here, let's focus on the cyclists. Notice how we start by grouping those 2 big reasons together, taken together, and then we bring in the specific data. Each represents a 30% portion. This is where you back up your overview with the cold, hard numbers from the chart. Then your second detail paragraph tackles the other main feature, in this case, the drivers. You can see it starts by signaling a switch, a different set of concerns. Then it goes right for the dominant factor. Comfort is by far the most significant, at 40%. This paragraph is also the perfect spot to make a direct comparison between the two groups, which, remember, is something the examiner is looking for. All right, let's put it all together. Time for the grand finale. In our last section, we're going to see what this final, high-scoring essay looks like when all the pieces are in place. And there it is, all 4 of our paragraphs combined into one clean, coherent, 184-word essay. You can see it all right there, the intro, the overview, and the 2 detail paragraphs, each one flowing logically into the next. It does exactly what the question asked. It selects, reports, and compares the main features. Perfect. And don't forget, the minimum you need to write is 150 words. With a structured approach like this one, we easily hit that target without adding any fluff or filler. But here's the catch. You've only got about 20 minutes to do all of that. And this is why having a plan isn't just helpful, it's absolutely essential. You simply don't have time to sit there and wonder what to write next. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's really simple. A clear plan that you can use every single time is your golden key to writing a great essay and writing it fast. It turns this big, scary, confusing task into a simple, manageable set of steps. So really, the question isn't, can you do this? Of course you can. The real question is, are you ready to practice your way to a higher score? Because you've got the blueprint. Now it's time to start building.